This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Say hello to our listeners. Jumping on now, WAAF, Boston's legendary rock station. Also, Big Dog 97.9 in Joplin, Missouri, and our friends at Z-Rock 103 in Lexington, Kentucky. Big show for you. Your guess is as good as mine categories. Hot dogs today and hamburgers. The word has more American slang. We'll drink and toast with the shot of the day, and today is the day we do our random question, 844-999. Ola, before the break there, our random question, what was in your backyard? And the reason that we asked that question as we go to Prospect Park, Pennsylvania. Not exactly sure where Prospect Park, Pennsylvania is, but a Pennsylvania woman who was admiring a turtle in her backyard. She got a surprise when she spotted, any guesses? How about an alligator? An alligator, a 3-foot-long alligator. Tracy Hoffecker says she found the 3-foot gator near her home. Oh, it's a Philadelphia suburb of Prospect Park. Hoffecker called her cousin, who is a Philadelphia firefighter. He safely removed the alligator using a net. Oh, my God. Slimy, Scaly, and Taily Reptile Rescue arrived on the scene and recovered the animal. Again, the fine folks, and I'm sure they do a great job at Slimy, Scaly, and Taily Reptile. They came. Rescue Group Representative Matt Snyder says the alligator will go into an aquarium. Authorities say the alligator was likely someone's pet.
You think?
And was illegally dumped in the area. Yes, it is legal to own an alligator under Pennsylvania state law, by the way, but it is illegal to release them in the wild. So keep that in mind. You can have an alligator in your house.
But you have to keep it.
You have to keep it in your home, just like everyone else does. And if you let it go out in the wild like it normally is, then that's illegal.
Wasn't there an alligator last week in upstate New York?
There was.
Like
in
outside of Buffalo?
That is correct.
I wonder, did that belong to someone? By the way, as far as what was in someone's backyard, it's a little crazy. It says, when I was a kid, a helicopter landed in my backyard. I don't recall all the details, but I think there was a fire nearby. It was pretty cool.
That's crazy. You got a yard that big.
Yeah, man. I don't feel like anything good's going to happen if a helicopter lands in your yard.
No, it's not supposed to be there.
Right.
Somebody either got hurt or something's wrong with the chopper.
Or you did something really, really, really wrong. Hello, Aaron. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Aaron.
Hola. And you gone.
Hello.
And you gone.
Yep. Oh, God, all the phone lines. As always.
Oh, they're all gone?
It's how it goes, man. And Aaron should have been the... Hold on, someone just tried to call in. I don't know if it'll work. Everything else disappeared.
If you were on hold, try again there. 844-999-OLA.
And if you're sick of us saying this, send emails to the appropriate people.
It happens.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola. There we go.
Ryan, welcome to the random question. Let's go with this one. Justified or not, what would you say is the most ridiculous bill or tab that you've ever got? Justified or not?
I'm going to say justified.
Justified or not, sure. Either way.
Yeah, justified. It was one in overseas in Germany, flying in the Air Force. We had a lot of guys over there, and we ran up about $1,000 tab.
Drinking?
Drinking.
How many of you were there?
There was about 10 of us.
All right.
That's $100 a pop, man.
Okay. In Germany, what's the cost of a beer?
I think it usually runs about €4, $3.60 to €4.
Okay. So you said €3 to €6?
So what is that, like
Yeah,
$7, $8 maybe?
I was going to ask, what is that? How does that translate into dollars? Because the beers in my neighborhood just went up to about $7 or $6 a pour.
Sure.
Yeah, less than that, I would say. Usually, euro translates to about $1.30, $1.40, depending on the time of year, I guess.
And how long were you guys drinking for? Do you remember how long the session was?
Usually, when we land, we can usually do a 6 or 7 hour session, depending on how long we have to the next flight.
And any food involved at all?
Usually the food's beforehand, so different restaurants.
Okay, all right.
How bad did you feel the day after your $1,000 bar tab?
Not bad.
Really?
It's part of the business.
Okay.
and I'm assuming
like that.
I'm assuming you pretty well just stuck to beer as well, right?
Usually, but sometimes they throw in some Jaeger and some Fireball and stuff.
All right, so it's basically
all the usual suspects, you know.
Yeah.
The fun stuff, yeah.
All right. Sounds like a good time. All right, the reason we asked, justified or not, what's the most ridiculous bill or tab? Overbilled and underserved. So the story goes, we go to Las Vegas, Nevada. That's how a local family describes their recent visit to a hospital emergency room. Chief investigator Darcy Spears reports on why the family says they got better medical care at a gas station. Action. When Brianna Lee isn't playing soccer, the 9-year-old Girl Scout likes to help her parents, but the help recently turned to hurt. What happened to her could have happened to anyone. Brianna's mom was showing her how to pump gas, and when Brianna went to remove the nozzle, some gasoline splashed into her eyes. Brianna's eyes were burning, and her mother raced her into a gas station restroom where they flushed her eyes, but the burning persisted. It was actually kind of scary because my mom didn't want my vision to go away, and I was scared that I wouldn't have good vision anymore. Fearing a chemical burn, they went to the emergency room at Centennial Hill Hospital, where records show they were told to spend more time washing Brianna's eyes. The eye wash station was too unsanitary and was too dirty, so they couldn't use it, according to the father. Either way, just know this. They received 2 bills, $600 from Centennial Hills Hospital and $800 from the ER bill. The amount for the bill included an $800 charge to use a sink.
I mean, come on, man.
There you
sink.
Go. A sink. To wash out the
I do remember the first time I ever saw a medical bill where I was old enough to register. I broke my ankle when I was 12 or 13 years old, whatever. But we get the bill, and my father's kind of chuckling as he's reading through it. And he turned it around, and he said, when we went to the doctor, and they did all the things they have to do to set your bone, what advice did they give you? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, what did they tell you to do? I said, well, like, take aspirin, keep your foot elevated. He goes, well, what would you have done if they didn't tell you that? I'm like, I'd have probably kept my foot elevated to take an aspirin. So he flips the bill around points. It was $150 for, quote, doctor's advice. And he literally just said, keep your foot elevated and take aspirin.
Yep.
It's like, God,
thanks for that.
That's crazy.
Random question, 844-999-OLA.
Random.
Hello, Shane. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Shane, welcome to the show and the random question. Let's see here. All right, Shane, what would you say is the most adventurous thing you've ever eaten? Whether it was food or a dare or something exotic, some kind of game meat. What's been kind of crazy for you?
I have a couple. I've tried like escargot and stuff, but I also pick wild mushrooms, and I picked this one, and I was pretty positive what it was, and I ate it anyway, and it ended up being the one that I thought it was. But
wait. Why, if you felt confident that it's the one you did not or should not eat, why did you eat it anyway?
I don't know. I really wanted to try it.
Okay, so you tried it knowing that you shouldn't?
Well, I was pretty sure it was it, but I wasn't. I was like 80% sure, and I went through anyway and ate it.
What were you 80% sure it was?
Honey mushroom.
And what is a honey mushroom? What is the problem with eating a honey mushroom?
There's no problem with eating that. There's just other ones that could look like that one that are potentially not that good to eat. and
what would the ramifications be if you were to eat the wrong kind then? The honey whatever imposter?
Probably like a kind of like a food poisoning kind of thing, the runs and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I've seen the movie.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I
didn't know if you were thinking it was like a magical mushroom, so it was like it had psychedelic properties or
you'd
something
eat that
like that.
one. Be like, hell yeah.
Well, like I think it is what I think it is, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway and eat it.
That's what I thought he was going with it, too.
I did, too. I just, figured it was going there. What's the most adventurous thing you've ever eaten? The reason we asked that, a Texas woman basically had a crazy moment. She allegedly bit off a large chunk of another woman's nose. We brought you the story last week. The victim, identified only as Tatiana, told ABC 13 that she went out to a bar last Wednesday night with her next-door neighbor and a friend of the neighbor, 41-year-old Jess Collins. She said after the night out, the three returned to her home where Collins demanded more alcohol and cigarettes. Tatiana reportedly told Collins just to leave the place, sparking a violent reaction from the woman. Collins then allegedly jumped her and pulled her to the ground by her hair before biting off a large piece of her nose and swallowing it. I didn't have time to react, to push her away. I think I was trying to fight back, but I couldn't. All I could remember was the taste of blood in my mouth. She said she passed out several times and only realized her nose was injured on the way to the hospital. I started calling my husband when I was in the ambulance. I was screaming like, I don't have a nose. I'm 28 years old, and I don't have a nose anymore. Police arrested Collins and charged her with assault, bodily injury. She was released on bond, no problem, on Monday.
Jeez.
As for Tatiana, doctors say she will need urgent plastic surgery. However, she does not have health insurance. Random question. 844-999. Oh, I'm not sure it really would matter.
At this point, I figure out a way to get that nose back, man.
They knows a way to bill you anyway.
See, she's the one who should start a GoFundMe. I feel like I would contribute to that. Like, you know what? I'll help you get a nose.
Right, exactly.
I still think the craziest part is that one lady that did the bitings in her 40s.
Right.
This other lady's in her late 20s. It's like, get out of here, crazy lady.
And then you bite her nose
Then you
off.
bite her nose off.
And they released her on bail. Like, she doesn't pose a threat. She was asked to leave. She bit someone's face. Come on. Hello, Kyle. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, naked ladies.
Hola.
Kyle, welcome to the program and the random question. Okay, Kyle, let's go this. Let's see here. What alcohol, Kyle, have you sworn off? What alcohol do you no longer drink or just don't enjoy? What did you stop drinking?
Oh, tequila, 100%.
Okay.
It's always tequila. What happened?
Well, so like right around the time of my buddy's 21st birthday party, we went bar hopping and stuff like that, and that was great. Like I was feeling pretty good by the time I got back to the house. And then my other buddy was like, "Hey man, try this tequila real fast," and he gave me this bottle of like Hornitos. And I drank like half the bottle, and after that, like it was a blur.
And it was just based on the fact you drank a half a bottle of something. It didn't really matter.
Tequila gets the bum rap.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
man, you drank half the bottle. That is not tequila's fault.
I ate 150 milligrams of edibles, man. I don't think that stuff's for me.
Right? It's like you drank half a bottle of tequila.
If you drank a half a bottle of anything, you wouldn't feel good. What alcohol have you sworn off? This is crazy. Animal rights activists have called off, or they want a wine boycott because baboons raided vines and got drunk and went crazy. This is in South Africa. The call came after one vineyard hired a marksman to go shoot the animals, which were going mental. Some of the animals developed a taste for Sauvignon Blanc grapes and passed out after eating fallen fruit, which had then fermented in the sun. Some got drunk. They started vandalizing the property. At one of Cape Town's oldest vineyards, employees and a marksman were the last resort because the baboons were stripping ancient vines, tearing everything up, and going crazy. He said he applied for his hunting license to protect my staff, residents, and animals as much as his grapes. We've had some horrific and repeated attacks on our dogs and other animals. The 550 baboons in the area, they're hanging out and getting drunk.
Hell
and
yeah.
they are throwing down. And they're raiding residential and agriculture areas. To date, 7 baboons have been confirmed dead from their annex.
And, you know, at a bar, we just have a bouncer.
Yeah.
You get them drunk, what do you expect them to do? They act like drunk primates.
Jenny from the charity Baboon Matters said killing 7 baboons from a troop changes the hierarchy, unsettles the dynamic, and causes these animals pain and stress and even more vandalistic tendencies.
Yeah, they're going to come back and kick your ass.
Random question, 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Word has American slang right before we drink and tell us where the shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Joe Dredd. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Joe Dredd, this one's just for you. What was
I was hoping an inappropriate question. Is it inappropriate?
Oh, for crying out loud. Is that what you really want?
Of course, that's what he really wants.
It's the inappropriate question.
Nice.
All right, let's see. Because I know you can handle it.
If you don't have to, Miles.
No, I do. I don't. No, you asked for it. I mean, I'm going to give it to you. That's why we have him in here.
Oh, give it to me, Miles.
Okay.
It's not the first time I've heard that.
Joe, honest to God, and you got it, honest to God, you got to name this person first name only. All right?
Okay.
Who is the biggest jerk or the biggest bitch that you've ever come across in your entire life? And why are they the biggest bitch you've ever met?
Okay, do you want jerk or you want bitch?
Either or. Whoever stands out more.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with the biggest jerk
And his name is Eric. I've known him for over 30 years, and we've had 2 falling outs over my lifetime. And last time I actually talked to him, he said that he was going to kill me before he dies.
Oh, is that right?
Why did he decide he wanted to kill you before he dies?
Well, he found out he's got a bad heart, so he's not long for this planet. But he says when he knows the end's close, he is going to take me out. And it's all because I just decided I didn't want to deal with him anymore. I didn't want to be his friend anymore because he's a lot to deal with. And plus, he thinks that I was banging his ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say, it's not defriending him. Exactly. So why does he think that you were having sex with his ex?
Because when he was in jail, she sent me an email letting me know he was in jail. And I stayed in touch with her to keep tabs on him because if he was getting out, I wanted a heads up. And after he got out, he hacked her email and read our correspondence.
Now, okay. Joe, your ticker can be suspect. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. How are you doing right now? Because this guy, because I know you, whatever, heart attack, whatever it was, and then you have this other guy that's saying, hey, well, my time's near, I'm going to kill you.
Well, this guy, he's diabetic. He's had some heart problems before, and because he never had any insurance, he never went to the doctor. So every time you have an episode, your heart dies just a little bit more every time.
Jeez. So in theory, you two could square up and just look at each other, and then both clutch your chests without touching each other and just fall to the ground.
Wait a minute, if we could what?
I said there's a chance that you two, the next time you see each other, could just look at each other and then grab your hearts and both fall to the ground. It could just happen simultaneously.
No, that's not going to happen.
All right.
About 2 years ago, I had a few drinks in me. He showed up at a bar, and I got in his face. I was ready to just start knocking the crap out of him.
What?
But then police will get called, and I ain't going to jail.
So what is it? Is it one of those situations where as soon as you see each other, it becomes a conflict?
No, actually, I saw him last weekend at Jubilee Days at White Center. He saw me, and he just kind of turned away, and I just kept walking. I said, you know what? I ain't going to get into anything with him. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, that's probably probably the good idea to take the high road.
Before I die, I'm going to kill you.
All right.
That's a very specific threat.
Especially if the guy's like dying. Like, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, if he just said it in general, it wouldn't be as spooky, but he's like, yeah, I know I'm dying. I'm going to kill you first.
Right. Like,
Random question, 844-999-OLA.
Random.
Hello, Aaron. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Did you guys hear me this time?
Yeah.
We can hear you, Aaron.
We got you, man. How are you?
Doing good, and you?
We're doing all right, man. All right, let's go this one, Aaron.
Okay.
What do we got here? What do you collect or do for fun?
What? I have recently started getting into going to like raves and music festivals, so that's like what I do for fun now.
How many have you gone to?
I've only gone to 2, but every time I've gotten so damn high that I feel like I've transcended and gotten closer to enlightenment. It's amazing.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
That's big, that man.
My uncle at one point in time had gone to all the major league ballparks. Every single, he traveled a lot in sales. I think that there have been since maybe 1 or I think 2 ballparks that he hasn't been to since he retired.
Is it because they've been newly built?
Yeah, they were newer in the end, and he'd already done it, you know.
So what's the rule on that, all right? And I know you and your brother have been bouncing around. You go to these different ballparks, all right? So obviously some you want to see.
Well,
Wrigley
that's
Field,
college, so college is going to be around a lot
longer. No, but I mean with
after you.
baseball as well, right? So you see Fenway, you see Wrigley, and these are storied places in and among themselves. But say you see the Colorado Rockies, 5 years from now they have a new stadium. Do you go back to see the Colorado Rockies, or do you say, look, I've seen all 30 teams in their home stadium?
Ironically enough, Seattle is one of those locations. He saw the Mariners in the Kingdom, and he never saw them in
I think you got to go back and see them again.
So you got to go back and, okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would. Well, that's a lie. I went to old Yankee Stadium. I have no desire to go to new Yankee Stadium.
That's what I mean. Like, do you have to go, like, if you saw the Cowboys,
just to see something different.
But, like, if you saw the Dallas Cowboys, now they have their ridiculous new stadium. By the way, that place sucks. My parents have been to a couple of games. My brother's officiated a few games, and when they lived in Texas, he'd get them out there. So I was like, well, how is it? And they said, look, it's a beautiful building. The concessions are crazy and all that, but there's a few things. One, the only beer you can get is Miller Lite. There's nothing wrong with Miller Lite, but it's the only. Every time I hear Miller Lite, I think of you, Ted. I want Ted to be happy. It's the only beer you can get. any signs, at least these are during the NFL games, any signs that you see someone holding up, like, we love whoever the hell, you have to buy those there. You cannot come in with your own.
So you buy the signs?
So you have to buy. So there's only a few players you can support, right? So they have their quarterback, they have the running back, few guys on defense, and that's it. So if you like some random offensive lineman because he was your roommate in college or something, you can't show him support. You can't hold up a sign. If you didn't buy it from there, then it doesn't happen. The other thing is, they said that the sightlines kind of sucked, so my father said it was crazy because this is a live NFL football game, and when he looked around the stadium, everybody's looking up at the screen. It's like essentially you go there. It's like going to Buffalo Wild Wings. So you sit in a chair, and then you watch TV. He's like, you almost never look down at the field. So it's like, as he says, every time he's gone for free because, again, through my brother, NFL, all this crap. But it's like I would never pay to go there.
Yeah, that's crazy. You can't bring in your own signs.
You cannot bring in your own sign. Any single sign that you see at or AT&T Stadium, wherever the hell it is now, during a football game, if they're holding it up, they bought it from Texas State. You can't go to the team store. You buy it at the stadium, and you can hold it up there.
I truly believe that half the reason that I enjoy watching when I get up that early college game day or looking at the stills is the ingenuity that goes into the signs that people are, the creativity, all the things when people are, depending on where they are, you can't manufacture that.
But not at Texas Stadium.
Random.
I mean, same with wrestling. Like, that's the fun thing is some of the signs people
make. You can make a coffee table book out of protest signs, wrestling signs, sports signs, and not there. Hello, Will. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, Will, let's see here. Okay, Will. Will, how did you get the hookup? Who gives you the hookup? Everybody's got a hookup on something.
Back when I was in high school, I had the hookup on weed. So
okay.
How popular did that make you?
Everybody came over to my house all the time to try to get my hookup. Usually I'd go to the guy's house to get my weed, and then I would, start taking his samples, and I'd fall asleep on the couch for a while, leave my friends at my house waiting.
Yeah, but you were consistent. I mean, you probably had it more consistently than most people did, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's why they waited.
That was
if
the
people
problem.
want drugs, they will. If you said, man, I know you're already at my place, I'm running late, I won't be back for 3 days.
My God.
Do you know your friends would wait there for 3 days for you to come
they
back?
would. They'd sit there on the couch.
The
And not only
worst
that,
part,
Go ahead.
the worst part was it was right across the street, and I'd still be gone for like 4 hours.
yeah, they, you know what, man? They should be able to get up and walk over there too.
Jesus Christ.
God, it was such a different world when you had to buy marijuana on the street. Mm-hmm. Just the language that you used with different people, the language that was appropriate, how people would do things, like call and let it ring twice if you need some, and if I have something, I'll call you back. It was one guy had, all right? Mm-hmm. But you don't know if it rang twice or not. Like sometimes, like it clicks and it skips. Like, is his 2 rings, my 2 rings on the phone? Or
right, you don't know.
You know what I mean? Like whatever. And they'd be like, "Why are you calling me? I told you not to call me." I'm like, "I only let it ring twice. You picked it up in the middle of the second ring." And
right.
He'd be like, "No, I didn't." I'd be like, "Yes, you did. It rang twice, and you picked it up in the second. Right after that, I was going to hang up. What's your problem? Do you have any weed?"
Like, I just wanted to buy weed.
Right. It was like, come on, dude.
And
right?
then there was a process because after you got the weed, there was a whole nother thing, right? So now you show up at the party or with your friends and you have weed. But no, you're not going to smoke it yet. Now everybody sits down as you dump out this cheap-ass bag of brown dirt weed, and everybody spends time separating the seeds because there's nothing but, and you always had the one buddy that's like, "Hey, man, give me the seeds. I'm going to make a grow operation." I know one person who successfully grew off of the seeds that we got out of the dried up weed, but he wasn't trying to grow them. This was a guy, we'd separate weed, he'd open his back door and just throw the seeds out into his backyard. And most of his yard was cement, or as they call it in Baltimore, grass. But it's all cement. But some of the seeds fell into the cracks in his sidewalk. He calls me up, I go over to his house, he opens the back door and he points, and out of these cracks, like dandelions, man, he's growing pot plants. He's like, "I have not watered them. I was not trying to do this. I'm just trying to get rid of the evidence." Mm-hmm. I'm like, you have pot plants growing in your backyard. The evidence is right there, man.
The reason we asked.
I was going to say, the other thing, too, is like, I don't know, if you were going to go to a festival or something and you need to get that weed, it's like, Some people, I've heard, would spend like 45 minutes to an hour just calling back the same number.
Nothing there.
Come on, man.
Like, I know you're asleep in there. Let's wake up.
Reason we asked, how did you get the hookup? The owners of the Starters Cafe, that is in Ohio, knew that they had several churches nearby, so they thought an easy way to get some of the customers to the new restaurant was if they offered a Sunday discount.
Okay.
But they didn't realize in Ohio they broke the law. We've had an outstanding response from the local community. There's been a lot of support, but Watson said, the owner of the place, he said he wanted to find a way to get more people in the door because where he bought his place, his new business, he is in the middle of seven churches within a mile of the cafe.
Okay.
So what he thought was he would make an offer on social media to give a 10% discount to anyone that gave a church bulletin on Sunday for brunch. So you come in after brunch, and then, you get a 10% discount. And he said he got a great response for several weeks. They ran the special. But then, apparently, they received a letter from the Freedom from Religion Foundation. He said, I realize there may be actual legal repercussions for this. So in the end, I had to basically recant the offer and issue an apology to everyone, including the woman who made the complaint. My busiest day of the week is Sunday, so in my line of work, I'm not incredibly religious by any stretch of the imagination. It was just my attempt to drum up some business for my new business. He said he will.
What was illegal? Because they're like, you have to go to church to get the discount?
You just have to bring in the church pamphlet, the whatever that shows what the daily crud is, you know what I mean? That thing where they go, they're singing this song here, and
but I'm saying, is that what makes it illegal? Because if you didn't have one, you couldn't get the discount.
I guess so. I guess the discount.
I mean, I don't, and if it's legal, or I don't know if it's legal or illegal. But why does anyone care? And look, the guy's just trying to make money. He's between 7 frickin' church. How many times it's like, hey man, if you're a veteran, right, coming and do it. I'm not a veteran. I don't get the discount, but you notice. That happens a lot more in places that have bases around. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
In places that don't have bases around, they're like, yeah, if you're a veteran, maybe. Well,
you know about the discount.
If you're a veteran, sure, right? If you're active military in a place that's not around a lot of bases, you don't get a lot of those offers. It's about business, man. That's all. Who cares?
Yeah, it's like a senior discount, man. I mean, some places really pound that home. And
absolutely.
And it's based on the fact that, you got to be...
Children get a discount. And I'm like, look, I'm a child. That's my mother. I'm her child.
When do you get the senior discount on the food item? How old do you have
55?
To be? Is it 50 or 55?
They need to make this universal because AARP will start hitting your ass up. Well, if you're Ted from birth, apparently. But otherwise, like when you're 50, I think. But
is it 50?
AARP. But that doesn't translate necessarily to, say, the movies or restaurants. My mother, years ago, she was very upset when AARP started contacting her, when people started offering her the senior discount, because she's like, it makes me feel old. I said, well, there's a reason for that. Now it's the greatest thing in her life. Loves the senior discount.
A senior citizen is 65 and above.
Okay.
But I think the senior discount sometimes is just 55.
Okay. And I think AARP starts climbing up your butt when you're about 50.
Yeah, I guess it depends. 60 plus. A lot of them are 60 plus. Like if you want to go to a Bob's Big Boy, 60-year-old Burger King senior discount, 10% off.
Do you need a discount at Burger King?
When you're 60. Depends.
If you need a discount at Burger King, don't go to Burger King.
See, Chili's offers the discount on 55. I think this is the way to get the younger, older people in. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd go to Chili's.
There's a lot of 55 places.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, Country Kitchen,
Arby's,
55.
Bubba Gump.
Bubba Gump, huh?
Mm-hmm. I know where I'm going when I'm 55.
Carrabba's Italian Grill. Chili's, Denny's, Friendly's.
50 at Krispy Kreme.
You're
a senior.
Jack in the Box.
50. Yeah. All right. Okay.
That's good. We need to print that out and just like check them off.
Good news and bad news for you, Miles.
What's that?
I know you're getting close. You guys are staring down the barrel of your discounts.
Right. I am.
Outback Steakhouse AARP members get 10% off.
So all you have to do is be 50, and you get that. If you're an AARP.
It doesn't include booze.
That's okay. Because I also see here where Ponderosa, that's 60 plus. But
when's the last time you went to a Ponderosa?
Oh man, it's been a while, and it was terrible.
And was anyone there under the age of 60 besides you?
Rainforest Cafe, 50 years old.
That's a good one.
I'm not taking an old person Rainforest. I almost had a heart attack first time I went. I didn't realize what it was. Right, fully. I'd heard the name, and there's a place near our old station. Went there with a buddy. and where I sat, it's so campy looking, right? And it's the fake jungle scene, but there's a gorilla behind my seat.
And then it roars.
Okay, well, I did not know this. I did not know that it was animatronic, so as we are discussing whatever we're discussing and eating our lunch, this big goddamn King Kong thing flares up and scared the bejesus out of me.
I mean, you were eating in the rainforest.
You were.
No, I know.
I mean,
I didn't know the things moved, man. I just thought
It's a
they were like
rainforest cafe.
right.
It's a cafe.
I thought it was stuffed animals and stuff. Like they did a thunderstorm. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then, but I didn't know the gorilla is going to spark up and do whatever gorillas do.
It's like going to medieval times and not thinking they're going to joust.
I did not know. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Or whatever they do.
I mean, every
Carry around the
rainforest
big
stock
turkey
did too.
drumstick or whatever.
The animals were doing something.
That was the first and only time I've been to one, Tad. No one told me that the animals move, and I had to wait like 10 minutes for a table, and I swear in the time I'm standing there, none of the animals move. So I just thought they were there. And then, like, you kind of feel something move behind you, and as I turn around, this thing, like, rears up and does a weird growl.
It does.
It scared the living hell out of me. I haven't been back. I'm not even kidding. I did not go back. I'm like, F this. That's not okay.
I have one buddy who used to go all the time, just because whenever people would say, "Hey, what's your favorite restaurant or restaurant?" He would just always say Rainforest Cafe, and we thought it was a joke. But then we just started going, and we'd always get a picture sitting on the stools of the animals.
Okay.
All right.
So
I mean,
it became
seriously,
your favorite
I've been
place.
to them in San Francisco, Baltimore.
You're kidding me.
Seattle.
How's the
no?
really?
I've like done a tour of Rainforest Cafe.
How's the food?
It's fine. You know, it's I don't know. It's like a chain restaurant. You know,
Right.
like,
It's standard
it's
stuff.
not bad.
I think the magical number is 55. Because once you get to 55, I mean, there are some places. Steak and Shake is 50.
Okay.
That's when you're considered old there. Random question, 844-999-OLA.
Random.
Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, Andrew, since we're talking food here and dinner, what free for life thing would you like? If you could get one thing free for the rest of your life, what would you take? Could be gas.
I don't know. I'd have to go with pot.
You go for the free pot?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a bad wish.
You know, man, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. My only argument is this. Inevitably, I have to spend money, right? And I've never felt bad spending money on weed.
No,
Like, it'd be nice to get it free, but I'd rather you pay my bills, because I never, like, pay bills with a smile on my face. But when I buy weed, I am more than happy to hand you. I feel like, okay, this is why I work, for this moment right here.
Same with a draft beer.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mind going to the bar. And listen, if you want to give it to me free, I will take it. But I truly do not mind spending my money on drugs and alcohol.
On the flip side, if I looked and saw my budget, I'd probably spend a lot more money on weed than I think I do.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't.
And so it'd
look
probably
to
be
see.
pretty economical. A couple named Robert and Fallon Griffin were dropping their two daughters off at a Chick-fil-A in San Antonio last Tuesday when Fallon went into labor with their third daughter. Robert delivered the baby in one of the Chick-fil-A bathroom stalls, and mom and baby both doing great. The hospital they ended up at put born at a Chick-fil-A right on the birth certificate, and they listed Robert as the attending physician, even though he's not a doctor. Now, here's the cool part. The baby's name is Graceland, and the owner of Chick-fil-A franchise is giving Graceland her free Chick-fil-A for Life card. And she's already got a job offer. He says once she's old enough, he'll hire her. No questions asked. Random question, 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up, your guess is as good as mine. Our categories today will be hot dogs and delicious hamburgers. Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up right after emails on our random question, 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Jeremiah. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Oh, Jeremiah.
How are you guys?
We're doing great, man. How are you?
Great. Off work and enjoying the weather.
Okay.
Nice.
Jeremiah, let's go with the stink. What is the worst smell that you've ever smelled in your life?
No way. I hate to say it, but probably one of my exes.
Oh, wow, man.
Jesus.
I mean,
I guess it's not her breath, is it?
not that breath, yeah.
Maybe not.
Bottom breath?
She had good hygiene as far as that goes.
How long did you date her?
6 months.
Did you ever say anything, and you just tried to fight through it?
I fought through it the first couple weeks, and then I said something because it was really weird. It was not normal.
Okay, what did she say?
She knew, and I was like, what are you talking about? Because it's not normal, right?
I mean, not to the point that you feel the need to say something.
Are you asking us if we personally know? And no, we don't. I don't believe any of us know here.
I mean, if it's that bad, I would guess that it's not.
Exactly.
But she just said she knows, and that was it?
Yeah, that was it. That's why it lasted 6 months.
Okay. All right.
Well, you got to think of it like this.
It's got to be embarrassing for anybody who's, like if you have a problem with stink and you know what I mean? Whatever.
Well, if you know, that means you're probably trying to do something about it and nothing works. There was a girl, when I was in 8th grade in my wood shop class, there was a girl that sat in front of me. And at this time, because Michael Jackson had just put out Thriller, everyone had jackets that had nothing but zippers. She had a big zipper in the very back. And at that age, I was 13 or 14. She smelled very, very bad, but I did not understand what it was, okay? So I just knew that when she sat down, I smelled this smell, and I thought someone had pranked her, and I could not, honestly, and I never said anything to her, but it's just like, God damn it. She sits down, here's this reek again for about 3 or 4 days. And I'm like, man, how does she not know that somebody has hidden something awful probably in her backpack, and I kept thinking in the back zipper of her jacket. That's why I pointed out, because that's what I saw of her most of the day as she sat in front of me. I recall my shop teacher pulled her aside, spoke to her. We did not see her the next day, which was a Friday. She came in Monday, and the stink was gone. And I felt bad. And again, I did not understand what all of this was, but looking back, I'm like, my teacher was a guy, and he's the one that was to approach a 13 or 14-year-old girl to explain, obviously, she was becoming a woman, looking back, right? And I guess no one at home had explained this to her or whatever the deal was, but it's like, man, it was bad for 4 days. And then when I found out what it was, I actually felt, like I said, I never said anything to her, but it's like, oh my God, that's ridiculous.
I'm on the dad end of this, but I think that it came quicker than I expected.
What, for their age or the time went by for you?
Probably a little bit of both.
I'm guessing that.
I mean, I'm sure that her mother already had that conversation, but at the same point in time, I was like, wow, okay, all right, okay.
But weren't you kind of the line of first defense when it actually happened? It's one thing to have a talk.
I was.
Right? I could talk to my kids about anything. It'd be different if my daughter rolls up and says, hey, man, it is happening right now.
Can you go to the grocery store? Sure can, on my way.
Right.
I can do that.
I will say, the worst smell ever, and I don't know if they didn't change the trash can in their bathroom, but me and my buddy went to visit a beach house. There was only 4 girls that lived there. I don't know. I'm still not positive what it was. What was in that trash?
You know what it was now.
Yeah. I'm guessing it was maybe like the couple old pads or something. But it was
something dead and big. Dead and big thing, like a little rat or something like that will smell if it's dead in the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, the bigger the animal gets, the worse off the stink is. So if you've ever stumbled upon a deer carcass or anything like that, it is it's overwhelming. You can't even breathe.
The worst is a skunk, man. Like you get hit by a car. So when they get hit by a car, they kind of explode anyway, and on all of their stink is put out there, and then the smell of them rotting, and it's like this is an unbelievable smell.
Yep. Yeah. Random question, 844-999. Ola, still to come. Your guess is as good as mine. The categories, hot dogs and hamburgers. And the word has more American slang that people from other countries just simply don't understand. That is all coming up in seconds.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.